What is going on, guys? It is Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we are going to be talking about this beautiful ZT knife, the ZT0609 Purple Edition. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. All right, first things first, we want to give a big thank you to our great friend of the channel, Mr. Dark Gravity. He is the one who let us use this knife and borrow it for review. He is such an awesome, great dude, been a huge support of the channel, and we want to thank him so much from the bottom of our hearts. He is awesome. This knife, I am super excited about this knife, and I was to keep it in pocket. Reason being is because I'm used to a lot of the ZTs being the, what ZT's known for, the big, overbuilt, sturdy, knives, kind of like the ZT0393, This is what I think of when I think of ZT, this overbuilt, just sturdy, badass knife. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't not, but this is a little bit smaller of a knife than I'm used to by ZT. We will get to some size comparisons and whatnot, but I was pleasantly surprised at the size of this, even though you guys might be like, what do you mean pleasantly surprised by being small? You like big knives, Kyle. You're correct. I do like big knives. But I was pleasantly surprised at the profile of this knife, the way it felt in hand, and, I really think that this size of knife, this knife in particular, would make a ton of people happy for an EDC blade. So what do we got here? Well, first off, you'll definitely notice the purple scales. This is a exclusive of this particular model, the 0609. They have quite a few different ones. I think the original one comes in a bronze with a satin blade. You can get them in black with a black blade. You can get them in blue with a satin blade. So there's quite a few options out there. I'm not sure how readily available they are, but I really like this color combination. I don't get to see the gray DLC coating very much, but especially on this just beautifully ground blade, it's nice. I really, really like it. Got some fingerprints on there. I really dig the purple and the gray. I think it's a great combination. So we basically have a titanium frame lock flipper from ZT. This look at the scales on this guy, just beautifully done. Milling patterns on this. Just an excellent, excellent looking knife. I really, really like the way that they have done this. You can also see there that the scales are super thin. The profile of this knife is really thin. It makes it great in the pocket. Just an excellent EDC knife. I think just so many people are going to like this. Now, it also has, not just having the titanium scales, it also has a very premium steel, being the CPM 20CV, which is one of my favorite steels. Obviously, just a great combination of materials. Does have a razor edge on this thing. I'm not sure how much Mr. Dark Gravity has used this, but it is in wonderful, wonderful condition and very, very sharp. The actual edge is a very slicey edge, even though it's really only about 20 thousandths behind it, which 20 thousandths is great. I've had some blades where they're like 16, 17 thousandths. 20 thousandths is a very slicey edge, and this thing is a slicer, which is another reason I think people will love this knife for EDC purposes. Let's go ahead and get some size comparisons so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So there it is against your PM2, and here it is against your Para 3. So you can see it's kind of in the middle of these two knives, which I think is a sweet spot for most people. I think it's a very easy carry. And of course we have the big boy, the ZT 0393, and you can see the difference between the size of these two knives, which is what I'm used to being on ZT versus this one. So really glad that they've done a few knives like this, to appeal to a bunch of people. They're using premium materials. Just another size comparison here. 20 CV blade here. This is the TRM Atom, and as you can see, they are pretty similar. The TRM's got it by just a little bit, but very, very nice. I want to say that the paper that I was reading off of for these knives said it was like 3.3 ounces. I don't know if it is. I mean, it's definitely a light blade, but I just don't know if it's 3.3 ounces. My scale it kind of went kaput, so I can't really confirm that. But I think it was on Blade HQ where I saw this that said it was at 3.3 ounces. And if it is, that's an excellent weight for this knife for people who like the ratios. This thing is 7.4 inches overall length with a 3.4 inch blade, 3.375 inch cutting edge, 1 inch length, and it's about 120 thousandths thick blade stock. So you're talking about a 3.4 inch blade at 3.3 ounces. That's pretty good. I mean, you can't really get any better than that as far as those guys who like those ratios. So as far as a blade per inch, very, very nice. The things I really like about this blade, first of all, like I said, it's very slim. The ergonomics on this guy are great. The reason I say they're great is because, you know, it really probably is going to depend on your hand size, but I've got big hands, guys, and this fills my hand out really, really well. And of course, here, if you've seen my videos lately, these little swoops down in the blade here really make my thumb lock in and be very comfortable in this saber grip, which is how I hold this knife very, very comfortably. I mean, you can hold it in different different configurations. It's not exactly melting your hand on the reverse draw cut, but very, very ergonomic knife. Of course, I always wish I had a finger choil, but I'm locked in. I'm comfortable. I don't feel the pocket clip at all. Now the pocket clip, I'm not a huge fan. It works fine. It goes in and out of the pocket, great. As you guys know, I don't need deep carry, but it is not really a deep carry pocket clip. I've seen these things online with the MXG pocket clips, the deep over loop over pocket clips, and I've seen the bronze one with the titanium bronze pocket clip. I think it looks amazing. You should be able to probably buy one for a titanium one in this and have it in this purple color. I think that would be awesome. Or in just a stonewash titanium, I think would look cool. This just kind of looks a little out of place for me, but it works. It works just fine. The action on it, typical ZT fashion. The flipping action on the ZTs, you just cannot beat. The detents are always tuned so freaking good. You just really can't beat the flipping action on ZT. They know what they're doing when it comes to detents. This thing is running on bearings, but because of that light blade, it's not exactly a drop shutter. I mean, you can shake it shut. But it's not going to be a false shutty blade by no means. But the action is, it pops out of there like nobody's business. Really, really fun. It does, of course, is a frame lock. It does have a over travel stop / lock bar insert. So that is always appreciated. Get you in here. These are full slab titanium handles that are milled on the outside, but not on the inside. These are full slab. And, I don't think they did the cutting inside because these things are so thin. They didn't really have a lot of room. But I talk about this thing being a great EDC size, but it feels like a ZT. The robustness, the build quality, these big old standoffs back here, it really feels so sturdy. Usually knives this size or smaller, I don't ever say, yeah, it's good for the heavy use. I'm feeling this guy in hand. I feel like you could do some very, very hard work with this thing and it not, miss a beat at all. Kind of the elephant in the room, something that I love and probably a lot of people hate, is this wonderful looking pivot. The pivot, as you can see there, is a see-through design. You see that on like your Striders. I don't have my Strider right now. It is loaned to a friend. But the pivot is super duper cool. But when these knives first came out, they did not have the tools to take these apart because it is proprietary. And a lot of people got really been out of shape about that. I guess I can't really blame them if you're going to sell the knife to at least have the tool available if you're not going to include it And then when they first came out, they just kind of dropped the ball on that. So a lot of people got a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to that. Now you can get them. I think it's actually a Kershaw tool, STP tool, I believe it is. I am not sure if Dark Gravity got that when he bought this knife, because they didn't ship with the first few runs apparently, but they did ship with the tool later on, and I'm not sure when he bought this. The tool is pretty cool and actually kind of affordable when you're talking about like a Hinderer armorer's tool. You know, those things are like $75. These things are like $18, $20. So not that bad. You know, nobody really likes proprietary hardware where you just can't take your knife apart and maintenance it on your own. I get it. You know, unless I really have a problem or I've just got the knife totally just crappy dirty, I usually don't take them apart. So it's not that big of a deal for me, but you know, like on the Hinderers, it's a spanner bit and a Torx bit, you know. The spanner bit's a little bit different. I don't carry a spanner bit, but I do carry Torx bits in my handy dandy Leatherman Charge. You know, I have the tool bit, so I can usually adjust my knives with this guy and the tool bit set that I have that I carry on my person all the time. So that's really nice and handy. When you have something like this, it kind of takes that away from you, but not a huge deal. This thing is right or left hand tip up carry only. But I believe the lefties are going to like this. It's just a wonderful flipping action to be able to, and it's very smooth. I mean, like I said, not drop shutty at all, which is fine, really. I mean, I get this lock bar out of the way. It's just, once you pass that detent, very, very smooth. And then you can hear, suck it back up in there. Absolutely love that. On this side, of course, you got the ZT. And on the blade here, this beautiful shaped blade. I really love the way they've done this. And then, of course, with this gray Cerakote, the 0609 purple USA and R.J. Martin design. Now, you might have heard that name before. R.J. Martin has made a lot of designs for, he's made for ZT and for Kershaw, of course, the sister company. So very, very great design here. I know that this knife was apparently an afterthought to one of their customs. That was a bigger knife. I really would like to get my hands on one of those because I like bigger knives. But I think they did an excellent job with this knife. I think a lot of people love it. Like I said, it's been out for a while, and I know you can still get some in some places, but maybe not this exclusive. You know, the bronze color, which I really like the bronze color. I looked a lot of videos and a lot of pictures. The bronze with the satin blade looks pretty sick, I have to admit. They do a really good job on their satins, on their blades. But I really just love the drop point, little swoop there for my thumb, which makes this an ergonomic dream. And then the huge swedge. I really dig the way that looks. I mean, come on. So cool. I mean, I can't get over the flipping action that's on almost all ZTs that I have. No matter what the knife is, the flipping action is always consistent. You got to give props to ZT for that. I mean, American-made company. They make good quality stuff. Some of the designs I'm not crazy about. Some of the designs, you know, are kind of like Hinderer designs, kind of like this, which I do like Hinderer. And if you want a Hinderer style knife, you can definitely go to ZT and get some Hinderer designs in there. Works very well, and you don't have to pay the Hinderer price. So I love that about ZT. They're doing a great job. One of the things that I don't have in my collection is a lot of ZT knives, and I need to get more. I think they do a great job, and of course they work with a bunch of different designers, so they have something for everybody, in my opinion. This blade is like a high saber grind, so like I said, 20 thousandths behind the edge. It is a slicer. It cuts so well. I think a lot of people using this in the EDC task throughout the day are just going to love it. It really does slice through most everything that you can throw at it. It's robust, but not huge. So I think ZT kind of hit it out of the park. If they didn't have the fiasco with the pivot, I think this would have been a very big home run for them. But guys, that is about it for this beautiful knife. Stay tuned for more. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because I got a lot more coming. And thank you again, Mr. Dark Gravity, for allowing us to take a look at this beautiful knife. Guys, stay safe out there in this crazy world that we're living in, and we will see you in the next one.